Okay, now, at the beginning of yesterday's episode, I forgot to get into the rollback. Now, I realize that the rollback can more or less confuse things rather than explain them. But yeah, I did come back to the model table yesterday, and I did do a little bit more. I think that what we should do is get right into our rollback so that we sort of explain the situation instead of confuse the situation. Yeah, so let's get into the rollback and then we'll get on with our rigging. Now, I wasn't going to come back to the model table this evening. At least that's the way I felt earlier this evening, but right now I kind of got the hankering to see how this is going to go. Okay, the idea will be, I'll get the other one. Now, I have learned the hard way. Move very, very slowly. Very slowly. Okay, now if we put a little bit of blue tack on the end of this, it should pull it tight. At least it should pull it straight, so that when we apply the CA glue to the end down there, I'll put the macro lens on for that. Where's my blue tack gone now? There we go. And we don't need very much. And there's no use putting the blue tack a long ways up on it. Let's see, maybe I could sort of fold it around the end there. This one is already about the right length. Yeah, there. That's all we need. And this other one is tight enough. Now for this one, for some reason, it's a lot longer. Well, not a lot longer. It's maybe about 4 centimeters longer, but yeah, this is approximately. These lines are going to fasten onto one of the lines that goes back to the forward, or goes ahead rather, to the forward mast. Okay, now reach very, very carefully and very slowly. Now, is that knot is not straight. It's I want to be careful I don't end up pulling it off of the end there either. If I make it too tight, that's what I'm kind of worried about maybe happening. Yeah, that's a little better. Somewhat better. I think I'm best leaving well enough alone. The knot is not straight, as you're going to see when I put the macro lens on. Why don't we? I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I'm a little bit worried. I put those carrots out on Friday around 5 o'clock or so, and 5 o'clock Saturday or thereabouts, they're still the same. But the only difference is one of the little segments blew over. Otherwise, everything is undisturbed. That's kind of unusual. Well, we'll keep an eye on them and see what happens. I am seeing a lot less rabbit tracks around. Every once in a while, though, I do see a rabbit out in the front or way off on the side over on the neighbor's yard. But why they're not coming to their old spot, I don't know. Anyway, like I say, we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Okay, I'm using one end of the holder downer here, and I'm just doing a dry run. I want to see if I can actually get in there. Yeah, I can get in there. And I'm going to use some CA thin on the end of that holder downer. I don't know if I should put any more on or not. Let me look at the monitor. Oh, maybe. That's probably too much, though, isn't it? Oh, I got it on the top of the thingamajiggy. Okay, I'm gonna have to repaint that. Yeah, I should have quit while the quitting was good. Yeah, actually, I think if I repaint that, it's probably gonna look okay. We'll give it till the morning though to cure. I'm not gonna try and wipe it off. I'll probably just end up breaking something or making a mess. So we'll just let that cure. And at least the lines are in the right direction, and they're gonna, sort of freeze that way. Okay. Okay, we almost had a disaster here about 5 minutes ago. I was bringing the camera over onto this side, and when I did, the cord, which goes up to the gantry, it fell off of what I had it hooked onto, and it landed on the starfish here. Now, it's heavy enough that it could easily break something like this off. So I guess what I'm saying is I think if I'm smart, until we actually need to get in there, I should maybe put this back on. At least I think it's a good idea. Okay, that kind of affords some protection anyway. Now, I was getting comments about yesterday's episode. Why was the quality so bad? Why was it only 360p, which should have been 4K? Anyway, I did upload a 4K video, and this is it. Here's the properties for it. We go into our details. All right. 3840 by 2160 at 60 frames a second. Yeah, I definitely uploaded a quality 4K video, so I don't know what happened there. This has happened before. Maybe YouTube was busy. Yeah, let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Okay, I think we're going to call it quits for tonight, folks. Yeah, see you in the morning. Okay, it is morning, and we are back to today. And if you will recall, I had said there was two of those. I should look it up. I'm calling it a conduit because I'm pretty sure it has to do with some sort of high voltage wire coming up and leading off of the end of this appendage, or whatever you want to call it. Now this one here is not made of photo etch. It's the part that we would fasten the line to is just a piece of plastic that I painted black. I know we're not zoomed in, but you should be able to see it. Now, where the lines are going to go from that, I'm not sure. They probably go up to something that's going on up here. I don't think it's real important that I put those lines on next, because this is going to be actually fairly easy to get at. So I do think, though, that the next place we should look is these rings. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a ring right there. There's a ring right there. I think that they have to do with the stays that go up to the sides of the funnels. Now, I want to check the drawing and see where exactly on the funnels do we have to drill the holes, like we did on the Bismarck, to insert the line in. I don't want to just glue it onto the side of the funnel. I want to insert the line into a little hole. That seemed to work out really well on the Bismarck. Now, of course, the Bismarck only had the one funnel. I think it only had one. Yeah, it only had the one funnel. So anyway, yeah. So these rings here, and if you remember when we painted them, they didn't fill in, so we should be able to pass easy line through them. Now, I've lost it. I'll find it. In a test tube, I've got little wire eyes that I'd made up that are similar to this, and we can also put them, maybe instead of drilling a hole in the funnel and just sticking the easy line through it, we could use one of those eyes. It might look a little bit more, I don't know, sort of realistic. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's where's that test tube? Now, there's one nice thing about being able to press stop, and that is that you do not see all the nonsense that I go through to look for something that I can't remember where I put it. Now, where I found this, it wasn't, it wasn't where I'd seen it for the last 5 months or something. It was in my test tube holder. I've got a holder that holds test tubes, and I thought, well, I wouldn't have put it there. So I thought, well, the last resort, I may as well check. Sure enough, that's where I put it. Anyway, yeah. Remember those? Okay. Yeah, I think we made about a dozen of them. Just drill a little hole and poke it in, and they've survived. Now, why do I have this piece of easy line here? Now, do you remember we tied a knot in this? Well, this morning I saw that little knot there, and I thought, I wonder what it looks like when you pull it tight. So I pulled it tight, and I can't see it. It's completely disappeared. I think just for the fun of it, I'm going to put on the super macro, tie a knot, and see if I can carefully tighten it and see how come it disappears. Now, every 5th day, it is the USS South Dakota Day. And I know I try to have this mug in just about every scene if I can. And the reason I do that is because I really like that logo. Yeah. Kevin sent us that, what, about half a year ago now? Maybe more. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, this is not a hint for somebody to send me a cup that says HMS Hood or something like that. I've been online and I've checked to see what's available, and there really isn't anything that looks this nice. I mean, why couldn't they have maybe the Hood Association has them, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal, and this is not a hint for somebody to send me a Hood mug. Please don't send me a Hood mug. Then I sort of feel obligated. Maybe now's a good time to mention this. Every once in a while somebody will offer to send me something that will be helpful, and yes, there is no question about it. It will be helpful, but it also then involves maybe I have to do something that I really didn't want to do. So yeah, thanks for the offers and everything, but don't be mailing me something. I know that quite often in my box openings you see my address and stuff like that. So you know where I live, and you can Google where I live on Google Street View, and there you'll see my little house and my white car sitting outside in the well, you'll see a picture taken in the summertime. Yeah, that's kind of nice, but yeah, you know where I live, in other words. So it's easy for people to mail me stuff, and I would just assume that you didn't. But thanks anyway. And Kevin, I'm not I really do like this mug, and I do appreciate you sending me it. And this mug is not stressing me out. It's not like something that's going to involve more work. So anyway, okay, I've rambled on long enough here. Now, I don't think I need to scan this thing and enlarge it and stuff like that in order to be able to see these lines. I think if I zoom in here, we should be able to see where these lines go. Now, we're going to be using the easy line for everything. We're going to be using it from the lines that were obviously for the antenna, all the way up to the heavier cables, undoubtedly, that were used for the stays that held the funnel from falling over. Now, I always wondered why they couldn't have made the funnel rigid enough that it didn't need all these lines. But I guess, it could be that when this ship was designed, a lot of the designers were from the old sailing days where they had rigging all over the place. Yeah. Just came to mind just now. New York Jason makes wooden ships with lots of rigging, and I think he likes doing that sort of thing. Whereas with me, I don't enjoy it. Well, I sort of do, but not like I thought I would. I had thought of getting doing a sailing ship that had a lot of rigging, but I'm realizing now that running all these lines would probably drive me crazy. Anyway, you can see here, maybe if I take this off, okay, I can point a little better. Okay, right there is where it mounts onto the funnel, and I'm looking at the funnel right now, and I can see this ring. So if we drill a hole there, it does appear that the hole actually goes into the ring. It only makes sense because that would be the strongest part of this area. So we put a hole there and a hole there, and then mount one of these things in it. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to find a drill bit that's going to be just a little bit larger than the diameter of these things, and maybe I should practice on something before I make a big mess on our funnel. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we use the same size wire on all of these. So if we measure one, I think we probably got them all. And we'll do it in thousandths of an inch rather than hundredths of a millimeter. Okay. Oh, it's zeroed. Okay. Okay, it looks like about 11.5 thousandths of an inch. So if I find a bit that's a little bit bigger than that, we should be in business. I know this doesn't look anything like pizza, but I don't have any pizza ingredients in the house at all. And this would probably be a lot better for me anyway. What we got here is Brussels sprouts, rice, cabbage, celery, white onions, a little bit of flavoring, some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of margarine. Oh, I didn't need the margarine, that's for sure. Well, it's Basel margarine. That's supposed to be good for you, right? If you believe the advertising. Anyway, pizza day might be coming to a close. Maybe we'll talk about that next pizza day. In other words, a week from today. On the other hand, we might not. Anyway. Okay, what we've got going on here is a piece of that model that Tony sent us about 3 years ago. And I'm just going to make a little pilot hole here. And the bit that I've got is it's in the Tamiya drill here, and I'm going to have to be very careful here because I'm not as steady as my drill press. I should maybe be doing this in a drill press, but on the other hand, we can't put the funnel in a drill press either, so let's just see what we can do here. Now, I better move my fingers just in case it goes through. Okay, did I break it? I don't think so. Looks like it's all still there. Oh, did I mention that the drill bit was a 14 thousandths? So it's just very slightly bigger than this piece. Yeah, that might be okay. Now we were to put a little bit of, just for the fun of it, let's do that. Let's put a little bit of CA on there. Okay, now I know I have a tendency to say, is there any on there? Maybe I should put on more, but I can actually see that we did put some on. Let me look at the monitor. Yeah, it looks like we did. Okay, let's just leave that. Okay, I'm wondering here if I should take this off, and yet on the other hand, I might be able to use it to steady myself when I try to drill a hole there. Let's try it first, leaving it on. I can always take it off later. Okay, get myself a bit of a extra steady rest going on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not going to make a pilot hole. Maybe that's a mistake. We'll soon know. Okay. You know, it almost appears on the funnel that I can see where there's a... What? What'd you say? The macro lens. Sure, why not? Now, aren't you glad I bought the adapter for the macro lens so I can use it on a new camera? Okay, I have not done a dry run. Now, you see this little thing that looks like a large rivet? Now there's There's another one further down. There's one around the front. Now I think that they are supposed to indicate, maybe, where something is supposed to go. Now I'm not going to try and drill a hole on top of that, because I'll probably just slip off of it. But I think if I carefully put my bit up against right there, whoops, that's not careful, and then if I can slowly squeeze the trigger here, we're going to have to make a pilot hole. Okay. So why am I shaking so bad here? Now, I don't want to push too hard and break the funnel off. Wouldn't that be too bad? Oh, there's something there. Alright, let's try this again. Now, I would think that that would probably be turned. I'm hoping that it came through underneath the catwalk on the other side. You know, I don't think it needs to be this long. I think I should be cutting it off. So why can't I pull it out? There we go. Okay. I do not want to be losing this. 1:44, almost 1:45. I gotta call it quits for today. I'll probably go at this later. I will not be videoing every single one, because we gotta put, what, 8 of them on? So I'll probably work on it today, this afternoon and this evening. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.